Let's jump right into this explainer. The First Battle of Tarain, it isn't just some random clash of swords. No, it's a massive, definitive turning point that completely redefined the medieval geopolitical map of India. We're going to look at how two literal empires collided in a showdown like honestly still echoes through history today. Seriously, picture this in your head. A dramatic, fiery sunrise over the vast plains of Tarori. You've got thousands of Rajput warriors standing shoulder to shoulder in strict battle formation, and they're just staring down this huge invading army led by Muhammad Ghori. It's two colossal, totally evenly matched forces waiting in this agonizing tension for the one signal that's going to change their world forever.
Section 1. The Gathering Storm.
So you got to understand, this wasn't some sudden surprise ambush. It was a slow, incredibly calculated escalation. In week 1, Muhammad Ghori leads his army right across the northwestern frontier. Then by week 2, his cavalry is marching steadily through these dusty plains while his commanders are meticulously poring over maps, figuring out terrain and supply lines. And finally, week 3 rolls around. The tense news of this unstoppable, methodical advance spreads across the Rajput kingdoms, and it just creates this atmosphere of sheer dread. I mean, a massive threat is literally marching right to their doorstep. The psychological toll of just waiting for it, absolutely immense.
Section 2. The Rajput Defense.
Now, we see this really brilliant contrast in how both sides prepare for war. On one hand, Ghori's commanders are out on the dusty plains, cold, methodical, calculating their march over maps. But then, in stark contrast, you have King Prithviraj Chauhan. He's holding a royal war council, passionately inspiring his nobles as they raise their swords and pledge their absolute loyalty. It's this incredibly impassioned, loyalty-driven defense going up against a highly structured, tactical invasion. Two totally different philosophies of war just hurtling toward each other.
Section 3. Clash of the Armies.
Okay, when the battle finally kicks off, the sheer scale of it is mind-blowing. It begins with massive war elephants stepping out onto the battlefield. And listen, these aren't just animals. They are literally the medieval equivalent of tanks. They're designed to completely shatter enemy infantry lines and cause absolutely paralyzing terror before a single sword is even swung. Their sheer presence dictates the opening moves of the fight. And this ground-shaking advance, it is instantly met by the thunderous impact of charging cavalry. We're talking thousands of horses from both sides just colliding head-on at breakneck speeds. It's this insane, unstoppable momentum that dictates the frantic, high-stakes pace for the rest of the battle. You can practically feel the shock of that initial impact rippling through the entire formation. What we are looking at here is multi-layered total warfare. Up above, archers are releasing these devastating volleys, completely darkening the sky with waves of arrows to pin down enemy movements. Meanwhile, down on the ground, warriors are clashing brutally in close combat with swords and spears. The whole battlefield just descends into absolute, overwhelming chaos, where any semblance of tactical formation totally breaks down. There's a quote that really hits the nail on the head here. It says, "Dust fills the air as both armies engage in a fierce confrontation." In the reality of medieval warfare, that meant they were practically fighting blind. The choking dust completely swallowed these two evenly matched armies. It created this disorienting, grinding melee where you could barely see a few feet in front of you. It stops being about strategy and turns into a brutal test of raw survival and endurance.
Section 4. A decisive victory.
Well, the ultimate turning point arrives when Muhammad Ghori himself gets wounded right in the thick of the heavy fighting. Now, you have to remember, back then, an army's cohesion depended almost entirely on the physical presence of its leader. There's no backup command structure, right? So seeing Ghori injured instantly shatters the morale of his troops. It forces the entire invading army into a disorganized, chaotic retreat from the battlefield. As the dust finally clears, Prithviraj's soldiers are celebrating a hard-fought, monumental victory. Vibrant saffron flags are waving triumphantly all across the plains. This was a massive win for the Rajput defense for sure. It temporarily halted foreign expansion into the subcontinent and firmly secured their borders, sending a super clear message of regional strength and resilience. And, of course, that battlefield triumph translates into some truly epic celebrations back home. Prithviraj returns to Ajmer and Delhi to an absolute hero's welcome. Citizens are throwing flower petals from the rooftops, there's rhythmic drum beats everywhere, and victorious elephants parading through the streets. It's this huge moment of pure relief, capped off with the royal court formally honoring the brave warriors who bled to protect the kingdom.
Section 5. An ominous horizon.
But wait, as night falls, the reality of the situation kind of shifts. Muhammad Ghori is standing at his camp beyond the frontier, and he is not defeated in spirit. Not at all. He looks back toward India, totally fueled by the sting of that loss. He's absolutely determined to return, and next time, he's bringing an even stronger army. If anything, this setback has only sharpened his focus.
Meanwhile, back in his kingdom, Prithviraj stands proudly atop his fort, totally victorious but fatally unaware of this looming threat. Complacency starts to set in. He really believes the whole war is won, but actually, scratch that, only the first battle is over. This false sense of security becomes a massive, dangerous vulnerability for a kingdom that has just completely let its guard down. So this leaves us with a truly critical historical question. How long can this hard-won peace possibly last? And what exactly is approaching from the frontier? The answers to those questions are going to change the course of the subcontinent forever. Thanks for tuning into this explainer, and remember, keep questioning the history that shapes our world.